Picture this, it's a warm summer evening, the sun's last rays painting the sky in hues of orange and pink. The year is 1973, and you find yourself in a dimly lit room, the flickering glow of the TV screen casting dancing shadows on the walls. The anticipation in the air is palpable as the credits roll, and the haunting notes of Bob Dylan's guitar fill the room. You've just embarked on a cinematic journey into the Old West, with Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid. Your first encounter with this iconic film was like stepping into a time machine, transporting you to the rugged terrain of the late 1800 seconds. As you watched, you couldn't help but be drawn into the enigmatic world of Pat Garrett, the relentless lawman, and Billy the Kid, the charismatic outlaw. Their complex dynamic, set against a backdrop of dust and gun smoke, left an indelible mark on your memory. Perhaps it was that unforgettable face-off in the desert, the tension so thick you could cut it with a knife. Or maybe it was the poignant ballads of Bob Dylan, underscoring the bittersweet saga of these two legendary figures. Whatever it was, Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid left you with a sense of awe and a deep appreciation for the artistry of filmmaking. Now, as we delve into some random facts about this cinematic gem, let's revisit those memorable moments and celebrate the enduring magic of this 1973 masterpiece. So, saddle up, partner, because we're about to take a ride through the wild west of movie trivia. Did you know that Bob Dylan not only composed the film's soundtrack, but also made a cameo appearance in the movie? Talk about a double talent threat. And speaking of cameos, keep an eye out for a young, pre-fame Harrison Ford in a brief, but noteworthy role. But that's just the tip of the tumbleweed-laden iceberg. From the film's tumultuous production history to the directorial quirks of Sam Peckinpah, there's a treasure trove of fascinating tidbits waiting to be uncovered. So, grab your six-shooter, dust off your cowboy hat, and let's mosey on down memory lane with Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid. Stay tuned for more fascinating insights. Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid, released in 1973 and directed by Sam Peckinpah, is a classic Western film that explores the complex relationship between lawman Pat Garrett and outlaw Billy the Kid during the closing days of the American frontier. A movie originated from the real-life historical events of the late 1800 seconds, with James Coburn portraying Garrett and Kristofferson as the infamous Billy. This film is renowned for its gritty, realistic portrayal of the Old West, marked by Peckinpah's signature slow-motion action sequences and a haunting soundtrack by Bob Dylan. The characters are brought to life with depth, making it a character-driven narrative where the lines between hero and villain blur. Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid left an indelible mark on popular culture by redefining the Western genre, infusing it with moral ambiguity and emotional complexity. Its impact can be seen in subsequent Westerns and remains a timeless exploration of friendship, betrayal, and the passage of an era in American history, making it a cinematic treasure. In 1973, the movie Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid faced significant challenges during its production and release. MGM executive James T. Aubrey played a crucial role in the film's fate. He decided to cut the movie severely, leading to a contentious situation. Ultimately, MGM withdrew the film in October 1973, and James T. Aubrey lost his job due to the controversy surrounding the movie. Director Sam Peckinpah expressed the belief that the film's failure, largely attributed to Aubrey's interference, was actually a positive outcome for the world of cinema. This suggests that Peckinpah felt the film's intended message and artistic vision were compromised by the executive's actions. According to Paul Sador's 2015 book, The Authentic Death and Contentious Afterlife of Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid, the 1973 theatrical release of the film had an ending imposed upon it by MGM president James T. Aubrey. This ending featured a two-shot of a smiling Pat Garrett and Billy, a decision that the film's editors strongly disliked. However, the 2005 special edition of the film had a different ending, concluding with a freeze frame of Garrett, seemingly being swallowed up by the desert landscape as he departs from Fort Sumner. One notable aspect of the film was the involvement of musician Bob Dylan, who had never before composed a feature film score. This decision led to some tensions, as Sam Peckinpah's regular composer, Jerry Fielding, had a diminished role in the scoring process, and was reportedly unhappy with the situation. Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid faced its share of challenges and controversies during its creation, and release, making it a notable and intriguing chapter in the history of cinema. In the 1973 movie Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid, several interesting behind-the-scenes facts shed light on the film's production. According to David Weddell's book If They Move, Kill Them, many scenes in the movie had to be shot in a guerrilla-style manner by second unit director Gordon T. Dodson. This was necessary because the original footage became unusable due to a bent lens flange and focus problems. In 2014, Al Pacino revealed that he was offered the role of Billy the Kid but turned it down. One reason was his inability to ride a horse, but he was also wary of director Sam Peckinpah's reputation for hard living. Sam Peckinpah, the director, had never heard of Bob Dylan before making the film. However, he was moved when he heard Dylan's proposed title song for the movie, and he immediately hired him. These behind-the-scenes anecdotes provide a glimpse into the challenges and decisions that shaped the making of Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid. It's a reminder that filmmaking often involves unexpected twists and unique collaborations. Bob Dylan's soundtrack for Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid in 1973. The movie Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid hit the screens, marking Sam Peckinpah's final foray into the Western genre. While making the film, an interesting twist unfolded in the realm of its soundtrack. Initially, director Sam Peckinpah had his eyes set on Roger Miller, famous for the hit song King of the Road, to compose the film's soundtrack. However, Kristofferson, one of the movie's stars, suggested a different musician, Bob Dylan. Dylan's involvement transformed the film's musical landscape. His songs, including Knockin' on Heaven's Door, became iconic parts of the movie, enhancing its atmosphere and emotional depth. The decision to bring Dylan on board proved to be a pivotal moment for the film and added a timeless quality to its soundtrack. In the end, Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid stands as a testament to how a simple suggestion can have a profound impact on the creative process, leading to a soundtrack that has endured through the decades. This decision to choose Bob Dylan for the film's soundtrack not only altered the movie's sonic landscape, but also added a significant layer of cultural significance to the project, firmly establishing it as a classic in the Western genre. In 1973, the movie Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid faced a turbulent journey to the silver screen. Director Sam Peckinpah's relationship with the studio and producers soured as the film's production costs soared beyond control. James T. Aubrey, the studio head, grew furious over the delays and demanded an unrealistic release date. This pressure forced Peckinpah and his editors into a frantic race against time to complete the film. Moreover, Aubrey wanted to act several scenes, leading to lengthy negotiations over the movie's content. Sam Peckinpah saw this film as his opportunity to make a defining statement in the Western genre. He aimed to continue the revisionist approach he had started with Ride the High Country in 1962 and The Wild Bunch in 1969. Shaping a Western narrative that challenged traditional tropes. However, when Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid hit theaters, it faced criticism for casting Kristofferson as Billy the Kid. Many believed Kristofferson, at that time, was too old for the role, raising questions about the film's authenticity. In the end, the movie's tumultuous production and critical reception showcased the challenges and ambitions of a director aiming to redefine a beloved genre. Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid remains a notable chapter in the history of Western cinema. As we ride into the sunset of our cinematic journey through the Wild West, I invite you to pause and reflect on your personal connection with the 1973 classic, Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid. This film, like the untamed frontier it portrays, is a tapestry of conflicting loyalties, moral ambiguity, and the inexorable passage of time. It's a story that lingers in the heart, much like the echoes of gunfire in the vast desert. Perhaps you've been captivated by the enigmatic performances of James Coburn as Pat Garrett or Kristofferson as the legendary outlaw, Billy the Kid. Maybe it's Bob Dylan's haunting soundtrack that resonates with you, adding a poetic dimension to this tale of friendship and betrayal. Or it could be the film's exploration of the blurred lines between lawman and outlaw that struck a chord with you, prompting questions about justice and the price of one's own soul. We invite you to share your cherished memories, thoughts, and musings about this timeless masterpiece. What emotions does it stir within you? Have you ever found yourself pondering the choices made by its characters long after the credits rolled? In this digital campfire, let's exchange stories and insights about Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid. Your perspective, just like this film, is a unique piece of the puzzle that enriches our appreciation of cinema's power to touch the soul. Thank you for joining us on this cinematic exploration. Your time and interest are truly appreciated. Until our next adventure in the world of storytelling, keep those memories alive. And remember, this outro was